I'm set to make over £120,000 from my Airbnb business, and these are the biggest lessons that I've learned. Number 1, don't just target holiday goers. 2, pick a niche. And 3, don't put all your eggs in one basket into rent to rent. If you don't know me, my name's Joost. I started my Airbnb business when I was 20 years old, and by the time I was 21, I was financially free and both me and my mum had quit our jobs. Now, at 23, I make over £120,000 a month for a combination of rent-to-rent properties and properties that I manage for clients. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the biggest mistakes I made when building my Airbnb business from 0 to 120k a month, so that you don't have to. I've literally spent thousands upon thousands of pounds and invested over 2 to 3 years of my life, so I'm just going to tell you the mistakes that I've made along the way. First, don't just set your Airbnbs up for holiday goers and tourists. Back when I was solely doing rent to rent, I used to think that it was all about holiday makers, tourists, etc. All these weekend travelers, people coming up for events, and that was mainly my focus when I didn't really know what I was doing. For example, we are mostly concentrated in Leeds, but we also have 2 flats in Brighton, which obviously targets quite a touristy and holiday-let market. And yeah, don't get me wrong, back then in the summer, bookings came in, but only during peak seasons. Then comes the gaps. Midweeks sat kind of empty, winter, hard cash flow, and it got unpredictable. That's when we started to learn a key lesson. It's not just about holiday guests and tourists. If you want to have a stable year-round business, you have to think bigger than that. So we took this strategy and applied it to all of our properties. I started targeting corporate stays, contractors, tradespeople on long-term jobs. They don't care as much about the view or design. They care about fast Wi-Fi, parking, a nice place to stay in, and they stay for weeks at a time, even months. Fewer changeovers, fewer guest messages, more consistent income. Then we moved on and we started to look at relocators, people moving into cities, often funded by their companies looking for short-term housing while they settle in. Insurance bookings were next, a game changer. Someone's house floods, their insurance covers the temporary stay while it's being fixed. And these bookings can run for months at great rates, often paid directly by the insurance company. One trick that we implemented is we started giving really good discounts. For example, for longer stays from anywhere from 1 to 3 months, we can give up to a 40% discount off our final price if they book direct. This really helped entice those longer term bookings to stay with us. The minute I shifted our mindset beyond tourists and holiday goers, everything became more stable. My units stayed booked in off-peak months, I wasn't chasing weekenders anymore, and I was working with people who needed the accommodation, not just wanting a getaway. That was one of the biggest lessons I learned from starting my Airbnb business. The money is not just in the tourism and holidays. It's in knowing your market and tapping into the guest types that most hosts overlook. That applies to whether you're doing rent to rent or Airbnb management. And once you make that shift, everything gets easier and you'll have more money in your back pocket. Next, you need to enter a niche. Even with Airbnb, too many people make the mistake of trying to appeal to everyone. But in this market, especially in 2025, that just doesn't work anymore. There's too much competition. You need to stand out somehow. And the best way to do that is by owning a specific niche and having a competitive advantage. For us, our niche is high-end apart hotels. We go all in on design, presentation, and detail. The flats look and feel like almost boutique hotels. Luxury finishes, carefully chosen decor, premium linens, smart home tech, ambient lighting, it goes on and on and on. Because we're not targeting budget travelers, we're going after guests with fancier tastes. People who appreciate the aesthetics and are willing to pay those premium prices. Also, what we do by having apart hotels with multiple units in one building, we are able to accommodate large corporate bookings. Literally, in the last 2 months, we have taken an over £90,000 booking from a film studio who are renting 12 flats from us for 2 months. Now that's how you really make money in the Airbnb game. This is something we teach in the Airbnb Mastery program. The point is, when you niche down and you stop competing on price and start competing on value, whether your niche is pet-friendly homes, family-friendly stays, mid-term corporate housing, or luxury designer flats, pick one and go in deep. That's how you attract the right type of guests, charge better rates, and stand out from a competitive market. Finally, looking back, there's one move I regret not making sooner. It's something that I kept hearing about, but I kind of ignored. I kind of thought it wasn't really for me and the operational work wasn't worth it. I thought I was just doing fine without it. I'm talking about Airbnb management. At first, I kind of dismissed the idea and I didn't really get it. I thought, why would you manage someone else's property when you can just do rent to rent and keep most of the profit for yourself? But what I didn't see, and what took me way too long to realize, was actually how powerful this model is. No leases, no rent, no upfront capital. You don't need to furnish the place. You don't need to take on all the risk like we were doing. All you do is bring your expertise and you get paid a percentage of every single booking. Once we made the pivot and once we pivoted into Airbnb management, everything changed. I was finally building up a high-income service-based business. I wasn't consistently hunting for more cash to furnish another unit, and I was onboarding landlords who already owned beautiful properties and needed our expertise to take them to the next level. They wanted the headache off their hands. For example, a struggling developer who was handing us over 16 properties, basically on a silver platter, just so they could fill their building more. And for us, that's 16 properties we take 15% revenue from, which will make us over 6K per month. The income is consistent, it's recurring, and it scales fast. I could manage 50 properties from the same laptop that I used to only run 5 rent-to-rent units from. As soon as we took Airbnb management seriously, our revenue went from hovering from around 50K a month to now touching over 120K a month, which is crazy to me. I'm telling you these things for free right now that took me over 2 years to learn and thousands of pounds worth of courses and training. So, if you really want to learn how to get into Airbnb and do it properly, watch the next video and I will tell you how to get started in Airbnb with no money.